All right, Lattafa Khamrah versus Lattafa Qahwa. The top two questions about these fragrances are which one should I get, and if I have one, should I get the other? So Lattafa Khamrah came out in 2022, and it is one of the most popular fragrances for Lattafa. It is widely known as one of the best clones for Angel Share. But in my opinion, it is not really a one-to-one to Angel Share. To me, it kind of does its own thing. That doesn't mean it's not a great fragrance as a standalone, because it is. And Lattafa Qahwa, which means coffee, came out in 2023. And as you can see here, from the look of them, they look almost identical. Same bottle, same cap, same gold plaque, same atomizer. The only difference is the bottom of the Lattafa Qahwa bottle is a dark brown. And then, of course, you can see the actual fragrance inside is slightly different in color as well. So if you head over to Lattafa's website, you will see the note breakdown for each one of these fragrances. And for Lattafa Khamrah, top notes are cognac, mid notes are tonka bean, cinnamon, and oak. And the base notes are vanilla, praline, and sandalwood. Taking a look at Lattafa Qahwa, top notes are cinnamon, cardamom, and ginger. And mid notes are praline, candied fruits, and white flowers. And then the base notes are that coffee note, vanilla, tonka bean, benzoin, and musk. So while there is some differences in the note breakdown at all three levels, I will say that overall, both of these fragrances smell very, very close to each other, with the difference of that coffee note in the Qahwa. So as far as Khamrah goes, scent-wise, to me, it is a very boozy, candied fruit and sweet fragrance. The opening of it is very sweet and boozy. To me, it's just a fantastic scent, especially during the fall or winter weather. There's also a little bit of woods and cinnamon underneath that, and sometimes you can get that kind of apple pie vibe out of this. Sometimes I can also catch a whiff of pralines. It's very much like a sweet and nutty. It's like a sweet and nutty accord that comes out. So as far as Lattafa Qahwa goes, the opening is very similar. I get sweetness, I get booziness, but underneath that there is a slight darkness and warmth to it. Knowing that it has a coffee note in it, you kind of pick up on that, but by no means is this a coffee dominant fragrance. So if you're looking for a heavy coffee fragrance, to me, I don't think you'll get what you want out of it with this one. So you still get that booziness, that candied fruit, and that almost that nutty accord in it, but this has a little bit of warmth and darkness underneath, so that seems to ground this out, so it's not quite so in your face, sickly sweet and fresh as the original version. If you have the original and you don't have Qahwa, if you can imagine the exact same fragrance with kind of like a dark roasted coffee bean underneath that's hidden underneath all that sweetness and booziness, but giving it a little bit more depth and warmness, to me, that is what Qahwa is all about. As far as performance goes between the two, I get about 8+ hours out of both of them. Personally, I don't get better performance out of one or the other, although I have seen a lot of people say they get better longevity and projection out of the Qahwa. But each one of these has really good performance. As far as cost, I think sometimes you can find the Qahwa a little bit more. Usually the prices range from around $25 to $35 depending on which online vendor you use. And I just checked this today, and some vendors are still out of one or both of these. So this stuff is still selling really well. So the two main questions for this are, which one should I get? And if I have one, should I get the other? To me, the answer depends. Personally, I prefer Lattafa Qahwa, and almost every single time I want this style of fragrance, I will reach for that one. The simple reason is because it's a little more masculine, it has more depth, and it's a little bit darker. So therefore, it's not as overly sickly sweet and as fresh as the original. So to me, if you're trying to choose between one or the other, if you want more fresh and sweet and more unisex, go for Lattafa Khamrah. If you want less sweet and a little bit more well-rounded and slightly more masculine, granted still very much a unisex fragrance, but a slight lean on the masculine side due to that coffee note, then I would go with Lattafa Qahwa. If you have Lattafa Khamrah and you feel it's a little too sweet and you can't wear it a lot because of that, Lattafa Qahwa may be a good option for you. If you purchased Qahwa because it was the newer version and you really weren't familiar with both of the fragrances, but you want more of a slightly feminine leaning or unisex fragrance that is more sweet and fresh and pronounced, then I would definitely go for Lattafa Khamrah. Either way, I don't think you can go wrong with each of these fragrances. They're both amazing. Lattafa Qahwa is one of my favorite fragrances so far this fall, and that's just my personal opinion on these. All right, guys, if you like this type of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button.